Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. How many mornings have you woken up with a dream in your heart, a goal in your mind, but the comfort of the bed won the battle? How many times have you said, I'll do it tomorrow, but tomorrow never came? Success, progress, achievement, they don't respond to wishes, they respond to discipline, they respond to action. If you want to build a life of significance, if you want to climb higher, you have to shake off the excuses, get up and get it done. The difference between those who achieve and those who simply exist is simple. Action. Not just once, not just when it's easy, but consistently, every single day. You see, the world doesn't pay for intentions, it pays for results. It doesn't reward thoughts, it rewards effort. It doesn't celebrate good ideas, it celebrates execution. So, what's holding you back? Fear? Doubt? Comfort? None of those will deposit success into your life. The only deposit that matters is effort. Get up early. Get up with determination. Get up and put in the work. Because success isn't reserved for the lucky, it's earned by the discipline. Time is moving whether you act or not. The question is, will you move with it? It's time to stop waiting for motivation and start acting with commitment. It's time to stop hoping and start doing. It's time to stop talking and start achieving. You don't need another excuse. You need another step forward. Get up and get it done. The mistake most people make is thinking they need to feel motivated before they take action. But motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the wind. One day you wake up feeling unstoppable, ready to take on the world. The next day you hit snooze, roll over, and tell yourself, maybe tomorrow. That's the trap. If you rely on motivation, you'll only work when you feel like it. And let's be honest, how often do we really feel like doing the hard things? The successful don't wait to feel ready. They don't wake up every day fired up with excitement. What they do have is discipline, and discipline is what gets results. Discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't want to do it. It's waking up early when the bed is warm. It's making that call when you'd rather avoid it. It's going to the gym when the couch is calling your name. It's sticking to the plan when distractions try to pull you away. Motivation is emotional. It fluctuates. Discipline is a decision. It remains steady. The people who achieve their goals aren't always more talented, luckier, or smarter. They've simply trained themselves to show up and do the work regardless of how they feel. Imagine a farmer who only plants when he feels like it. There would be no harvest. Imagine a builder who only lays bricks when inspiration strikes. The house would never stand. Success isn't about occasional bursts of effort. It's about consistent, disciplined action day in and day out. If you can master discipline, you don't have to chase motivation because motivation follows momentum. The more disciplined you are, the more results you see. And when you start seeing results, you won't need motivation. You'll be fueled by progress. So, don't wait to feel inspired. Get up, get to work, and let discipline carry you where motivation never could. Too often, people think success comes from one big breakthrough, a lucky moment, a grand opportunity, or a single bold move that changes everything. But the truth is, real success is built on small, consistent actions over time. Think of a single drop of water. By itself, it seems insignificant, but let it drip long enough and it carves through stone. A single step doesn't take you far, but 1,000 steps can cross mountains. The same principle applies to everything in life. Your health, your business, your relationships, your personal growth. It's not about making giant leaps once in a while. It's about steady, persistent effort. The problem is, small actions often seem too small to matter. You exercise one day, but you don't see a six-pack in the mirror. You make one phone call, but the deal doesn't close. You read a book, but your mindset doesn't transform overnight. And because we don't see immediate results, we assume it's not working. But that's where most people get it wrong. Success compounds. Every small action, repeated daily, adds up. Read 10 pages a day, and in a year you've finished multiple books. Save a little money each week, and over time you've built a fortune. Do one extra task at work every day, and soon you're the person who stands out. The secret is consistency. The same way a bad habit slowly pulls you down, a good habit, no matter how small, will eventually lift you up. You don't have to change everything overnight. Just commit to small daily disciplines, because here's the reality. Massive results don't come from massive actions. They come from small actions done repeatedly with discipline over time. That's the formula. And if you stick to it, one day you'll look back and realize that what once seemed impossible became inevitable. Procrastination is a silent thief. It doesn't break down the door or make a scene. It doesn't come in with alarms or warnings. No, it works quietly, stealing away your chances, one delay at a time. You tell yourself, I'll do it tomorrow. But tomorrow turns into next week, next month, next year, and before you know it, the opportunity is gone. Every time you put something off, you think you're just delaying action, but what you're really delaying is progress. You're postponing growth. You're pushing back your future, because life doesn't wait. The window of opportunity doesn't stay open forever. Look around and you'll see it everywhere. The person who wanted to start a business but kept waiting for the perfect time. And now they're stuck in the same routine, watching others succeed. The individual who planned to get in shape but always said, I'll start Monday, and now years have passed and the health problems have set in. The dreamer who had big ideas but always needed one more piece of information before starting, only to watch someone else turn the same idea into reality. The danger of procrastination is that it feels harmless. Skipping today doesn't seem like a big deal. Pushing something to tomorrow seems reasonable, but each small delay adds up. And while you're waiting for the right moment, someone else is taking action. While you're making excuses, someone else is making progress. Success favors the person who moves, not the one who waits for the perfect plan. Not the one who sits around analyzing every detail, but the one who takes the first step, then the next, and then keeps going. The truth is, you'll never feel fully ready. The conditions will never be perfect. But if you act now, you gain momentum, and momentum is what turns effort into results. So don't let procrastination steal your future. If it matters, do it today, because opportunities don't last forever, but regret does. Wishing is easy. Anybody can sit back, close their eyes, and imagine a better life. People wish for more money, a healthier body, a thriving business, or stronger relationships. But here's the truth. Wishes don't build success. Wishing alone won't change your life. It takes effort. Think about a farmer. He doesn't stand in an empty field wishing for a harvest. He prepares the soil, plants the seeds, waters the crops, and tends to them every day. Because he knows that no matter how much he hopes for a great harvest, the only thing that guarantees it is the work he puts in. The same principle applies to every area of life. You can wish to be in better shape, but if you don't exercise and eat right, nothing changes. You can wish for financial success, but if you don't invest, save, or develop valuable skills, money won't magically appear. You can wish for better relationships, but if you don't make an effort to connect, communicate, and nurture them, they won't grow. The problem is, many people confuse wishing with action. They say, I hope things get better. But hope is not a strategy. They say, one day I'll do it. But one day never appears on the calendar. They think about success, dream about success, talk about success, but none of that brings success. Effort does. Effort means showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it. It means putting in the work when no one is watching. It means taking responsibility for your own results instead of waiting for luck or handouts. Because life doesn't respond to what you want, it responds to what you do. The good news? Effort pays off. Just like a farmer's harvest, just like a builder's house, just like an athlete's victory, success is simply the result of consistent, focused effort over time. So, don't waste time wishing for a better life. Build one. Put in the effort, and soon enough, you won't have to wish anymore. You'll be living the results. The comfort zone is a tricky place. It feels safe. It feels familiar. But what most people don't realize is that comfort is the enemy of progress. It doesn't push you forward. It holds you back. It doesn't build you up. It keeps you the same. And over time, the same becomes stagnant. Look around at the people who are stuck, those who never seem to move forward. They aren't necessarily lacking intelligence, talent, or potential. More often than not, they're simply trapped in their routines, doing what's easy, what's familiar, what's comfortable. And because it's not painful, because it's not urgent, they stay there. Days turn into months, months turn into years, and one day they wake up wondering where all the time went. Growth never happens inside the comfort zone. Think about an athlete. If they only train when they feel like it, if they only push as far as what's comfortable, they never improve. If a business only sticks to what it has always done, never innovating, never adapting, eventually it falls behind. If you never challenge yourself to think bigger, do more, or take risks, life stays the same. The problem is, stepping outside of comfort comes with discomfort. It requires effort. It requires courage. It means trying new things, failing sometimes, and getting back up again. But that's where the rewards are. Everything you want, success, growth, achievement, is on the other side of discomfort. History doesn't remember the people who stayed comfortable. It remembers the ones who dared to stretch, to step into the unknown, to take on challenges even when they were scared. And the same goes for you. If you're waiting for growth to happen while staying comfortable, you'll be waiting a long time. So ask yourself, are you living to stay comfortable, or are you willing to grow? Because you can have comfort or you can have progress, but you can't have both. Good intentions are a great starting point, but they don't pay the bills. They don't build businesses. They don't create wealth, improve health, or strengthen relationships. It's not what you intend to do that changes your life. It's what you actually do. How many people have incredible ideas but never act on them? How many dream about writing a book, starting a business, getting in shape, or learning a new skill, yet years go by and nothing happens? The world is full of people with plans, goals, and ambitions. But success doesn't reward those who think about doing something. It rewards those who execute. Think of a builder with blueprints for a beautiful house. He can study them all day, visualize every detail, and talk about how great it will be. But until he picks up the tools and lays the first brick, the house remains just an idea. That's how most people live, full of good intentions but lacking action. Why? Because execution requires effort. It's easy to talk about what you're going to do. It's easy to plan, research, and prepare. But at some point, preparation has to turn into action. The people who succeed aren't necessarily the smartest or most talented. They are simply the ones who follow through. They take the first step, then the next, and keep moving forward, adjusting along the way. Perfectionism is one of the biggest traps. People say, I'll start when I have all the information. I'll wait until the timing is right. I just need to be more prepared. But the perfect moment never comes. The best way to learn is by doing. The best way to improve is through experience. You don't have to know everything before you start. You just have to start. At the end of the day, no one gets rewarded for what they almost did. The job doesn't get done by thinking about it. The goal doesn't get reached by planning alone. Success belongs to those who execute. So don't just intend to take action, take action. Because the world doesn't pay for good intentions, it pays for results. Excuses are easy to find. They're always ready, always available, always convincing. If you look for a reason not to do something, you'll find one. Too tired, too busy, not the right time, not enough resources. The list never ends. But while excuses will always be there, so will the opportunity to work, to grow, and to build something better. And that's the choice. Excuses or effort. It's easy to justify inaction. Life is unpredictable. There will always be obstacles, challenges, and setbacks. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't the absence of problems, it's how they respond to them. One person sees an obstacle and stops. Another sees the same obstacle and finds a way around it. Same situation, different response. And that response makes all the difference. Think about the person who says, I'll start when things settle down. A year later, things still haven't settled. Or the one who says, I'll wait until I have more money, more time, more support. But waiting doesn't create more of anything. Action does. There will never be a perfect time. There will never be ideal conditions. If you wait for everything to line up just right, you'll wait forever. The truth is, the best time to start was yesterday. The next best time is today. While others make excuses, you can make progress. While others wait for things to get easier, you can get stronger. Every day presents a choice. Stay the same or take one step forward. And here's the secret. Once you start working, the excuses lose their power. The moment you take action, the reasons not to disappear. Excuses are comfortable. Work is uncomfortable. But work leads to results and excuses lead nowhere. So the question is simple. What will you choose today? The excuse or the opportunity? Success isn't built in a day, it's built daily. Too many people believe that one big effort, one grand gesture, or one intense burst of action will change everything. But that's not how real progress works. It's not what you do once that matters, it's what you do consistently over time. Think about someone who exercises for 5 hours straight, but then doesn't work out again for months. Will they see results? Of course not. But the person who exercises for just 30 minutes a day, every day, will transform their body over time. It's not the intensity of the workout, it's the consistency. Or take the person who reads for 8 hours in one sitting, but then doesn't pick up another book for a year. Compare that to someone who reads just 10 pages a day. In a year, one will have forgotten most of what they read, while the other will have finished multiple books and gained valuable knowledge. The same principle applies to business, relationships, personal development, everything. The power isn't in doing something big once, it's in doing something small every day. That's how habits are formed. That's how skills are mastered. That's how success is built. But here's the challenge. Consistency requires discipline. It's not always exciting. It's not always fun. There will be days when you don't feel like showing up, when you don't feel like putting in the work. But that's exactly when it matters most. The people who win aren't the ones who go all in for a short time and then burn out. They're the ones who show up even when they don't feel like it. Think of a drop of water hitting a rock. One drop won't make a difference, but a steady drip over time can carve through stone. That's the power of consistency. So don't focus on doing something big once in a while. Focus on doing something small every day, because consistency beats intensity every single time. Every day you make a choice, you're either moving closer to your goals or pushing them further away. There's no standing still. Life doesn't wait. Time doesn't pause. The actions you take today determine whether you're building your future or delaying it. Some people spend years talking about what they plan to do, what they hope to achieve, or what they dream of becoming. But talking isn't doing. Wishing isn't working, and hoping isn't building. The only thing that builds the future is action. Consistent, deliberate action taken every single day. Think of a bricklayer. He doesn't build a wall in one day. He lays one brick, then another, then another. At first, it doesn't look like much, but over time, his steady effort turns into something strong, something real, something lasting. Success is no different. Every productive decision you make is a brick in the foundation of your future. But here's where most people get stuck. They assume they have more time. They think, I'll start tomorrow, but tomorrow turns into next week. Next week turns into next year, and before they know it, years have passed, and they're in the same place, wondering where the time went. The truth is, delaying your future is just another way of destroying it. You don't need to make giant leaps overnight. You just need to start. Read that book, make that call, take that class, start that project. Do something today that moves you forward, no matter how small. Because success isn't about sudden bursts of effort. It's about steady daily progress. The question isn't if your future is being shaped. The question is how you're shaping it. Every action either builds it up or pushes it back. So ask yourself, are you constructing something great, or are you letting another day slip away? Because the future is coming either way, and the choices you make today will decide whether you're ready for it. Time doesn't wait. It doesn't pause, rewind, or give second chances. Every second that passes is a second you can't get back. And while most people live as if they have all the time in the world, the truth is, the clock is ticking. Every day you either use time wisely or you lose it forever. Think about it. A year from now, you'll look back at today and either be proud of the action you took or regret the time you wasted. The choice is yours. Some people spend their lives waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect conditions, the perfect opportunity. But waiting never builds anything. Action does. How many times have you said, I'll start tomorrow? How many ideas have you had that never turned into reality? How many opportunities have slipped away because you hesitated? The danger of inaction is that it feels harmless in the moment. Skipping today doesn't seem like a big deal until you realize that days have turned into months and months into years. Successful people understand one thing. The best time to start was yesterday. The next best time is right now. They don't let fear, doubt, or uncertainty hold them back. They know that momentum is built through movement, not through waiting. And here's the hard truth. Time will pass whether you take action or not. The question is, when the clock runs out, will you have something to show for it? Will you look back with pride knowing you gave it your all? Or will you look back with regret, realizing you let excuses steal your future? The clock is ticking. Your dreams, your goals, your future, they're waiting for you. But they won't wait forever. So don't waste another second. Take action now, because in the end, you won't regret the risks you took. You'll regret the time you didn't use wisely. Time is the one resource you can never get back. Money can be earned again. Opportunities can reappear in different forms, but time, once it's gone forever. And every second that passes is a second closer to the end of the chance you have right now. The clock is ticking whether you act or not. The only question is, will you use the time you have, or will you let it slip away? Too many people live as if they have all the time in the world. They say, I'll do it tomorrow. But tomorrow turns into next week. Next week turns into next year. And suddenly they wake up realizing they've spent years waiting instead of doing. Regret doesn't come from failing. It comes from never trying, from knowing you had the chance but didn't take it. Success doesn't wait. Opportunities don't wait. The world keeps moving, whether you choose to move with it or not. Every day, someone out there is taking action while someone else is making excuses. One is building their future. The other is delaying it. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to know every step ahead. You just need to start. Take the first step. Make the call. Write the plan. Launch the idea. Do something today that moves you forward, because the worst thing you can do is nothing. The most successful people aren't necessarily the smartest or the most talented. They're the ones who refuse to waste time. They understand that the clock doesn't stop for anyone. They don't wait for motivation or the perfect moment. They act, adjust, and keep going. At the end of your life, you won't remember the time you spent hesitating. You'll remember the time you spent building, creating, and pushing forward. So don't let another moment slip away. The clock is ticking. Act now before you run out of time to make your dreams a reality. Time is always moving. It never stops, never pauses, never waits for anyone. Right now, as you sit and think, as you plan, as you hesitate, the seconds are slipping away, seconds you will never get back. And that's the reality most people ignore. They live as if they have endless time, pushing their goals to tomorrow, then next week, then someday. But someday is not a day on the calendar. It's an excuse. Look around. How many people do you know who always talk about what they intend to do? They have great ideas, big dreams, ambitious plans. But year after year, nothing changes. Why? Because they wait. They wait for the perfect time, the right conditions, the ideal moment. But the truth is, there is no perfect time. There is only now. Success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who act. The people who get ahead aren't necessarily the smartest, the luckiest, or the most talented. They're the ones who take action while others hesitate. They don't sit around hoping things will get better. They make things better. They understand that the difference between success and failure isn't opportunity, it's action. Every great achievement started with one decision: to begin. Not when it was easy, not when everything was certain, but in the middle of doubt, in the face of fear, in the presence of uncertainty. Because the truth is, nothing happens until you move. So ask yourself, what have you been putting off? What goals have you been delaying, telling yourself you'll start one day? The clock is ticking. The time to start is not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. The time is now. Because at the end of your life, you won't regret the chances you took. You'll regret the ones you didn't. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Act now while you still have time. Time is moving whether you act or not. It doesn't slow down. It doesn't pause, and it certainly doesn't wait for you to be ready. Every second that passes is a second you will never get back. And while most people live as if they have all the time in the world, the truth is, they don't. The clock is ticking, and every moment wasted is a moment you could have been building, growing, and moving forward. How many times have you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow? How many opportunities have slipped by while you waited for the right time? The problem is, the right time never arrives. There will always be reasons to wait. There will always be obstacles, uncertainties, and distractions. But while others hesitate, the ones who succeed are already taking action. Success doesn't come to those who wait, it comes to those who move. It's not the most talented or the luckiest who get ahead. It's the ones who understand that progress beats perfection, that starting is more important than knowing everything, and that action creates opportunity.